Everybody, welcome to Petite PD number 5. Today we're going to talk about how to use Gmail labels to create portfolios. And I couldn't find a quiet place at home today, so please excuse the background. I am recording this from my garage. So when we are working virtually, we just find the space and we work. So we're going to talk about today student portfolios. I think they're really important during this time period, not only to see a collective of what students have actually completed, and you can use it, of course, as an accountability piece, but also because the idea of a portfolio is you're looking at student growth over time. And so we can really start collecting up the pieces that students are submitting to us and looking at them for trends and patterns, not only just with the student, but across classes. And then that can make our virtual learning more purposeful, because we can then plan little recorded Zooms or mini lessons and plan purposely according to the gaps that we're seeing. Now, if you're using something like Canvas or Google Classroom, you're able to build portfolios in there. You have a collection of the student work, which is great, but if there's any sort of email exchanges that are going forward, and if you want to make sure that you're really keeping track of every student individually and not trying to search through and scroll through your emails, then this can be helpful for you. Now, for those that are assigning packets or worksheets or take it home printed papers or things that students are printing out, one easy thing that you can do to have students submit the work back to you when it's finished is just have parents take a picture. And you can do this as well for documents and stuff that you want to post. So if you have an iPhone, I'm going to show you how to make your iPhone a scanner. You don't necessarily have to do this. You could always just take a picture. But the scanner function is pretty cool because you can do multiple images just like you would a PDF document. And I don't have an Android, or I would show you that version too, but if you check out my newsletter for this week, I do have the directions for both the iPhone and the Android in there. So we're going to start with the Notes app, and that's the one that looks like, the lighting's not great, but that's the one that looks like that right there. They got the yellow with almost looks like composition paper, and it's Notes. So if you click on that, then you get your list of whatever you have in there. But if you click on that plus, then it opens up a new note. And down the bottom, you have some images that come up here. You want to pick the camera one, and then you actually have the option to scan the document. So when you do that, you can just take a picture or scan it. Now, it will highlight just like it does on a PDF where it thinks the edges are, so you can change that and make that what you want. And then I'm going to keep the scan. And now I continue to take pictures if I want to, and I can make a multi-page document from this. So at the end of everything, I'm going to click Save. And now I have some options that pop up on the bottom as well. So this will actually build a chart for you with columns and rows that you can then type into under the document. You also have the option of, so it's a little table. So I'm going to get rid of that and delete that. You also have some options that come up, including this markup right here. And when you click on that button, you get these different tools. So you can actually use the ruler to measure things out if you wanted to, or you can mark it up. And that's a great way to use your phone as a scanner. You can then take that document that you created, and maybe I wrote on this document, some directions that I wanted to add, or I wanted to highlight, because there's a highlighter down there. I wanted to highlight some of the stuff on the document before I sent it to the students or posted it to Canvas. So that's one thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do with your phone that makes it kind of easy is, let's say that an email comes in and it has a picture of student work attached to it. Well, we're going to talk about how to sort those emails, but another option that you have is to open up the photo of the student work. And now when we're in this, I saved it on my phone. And now when we're in this, if I go to edit and I click on this image right here, it's these dots. When you click on that, you have some options. And one of the options is markup. When you click on that, it turns live photo off. But I now have those tools again. And now that I have those tools, I can use those tools to annotate, grade, correct, and give feedback on student work. So I'm going to select here just the blue pen. And on the blue, with the blue pen, I'm going to write great, make it darker and thicker. Great job. Please include more detail in wings. Okay, so you can see that, let's see, I'll click done. And I don't know if you can see in there. There we go. You can see the writing is on there. I wrote that really fast, so it's not as neat as I would want to do it if I was going to submit it to a student. But now that paper is marked up, I can now click done. And then what I can do is now immediately send this corrected with feedback document to parents or back to the student. So you would just do it your normal way where you click the little up arrow. I'm going to find my Gmail. And now I can put it in an email and send it right back. So that's an easy way for you to kind of collect stuff. If you're collecting it through email, save it as a picture, edit it, put it back. And when you send that email, you now have it in your email, so you can now put it as part of a student portfolio. So let's talk about that. I'm going to use Gmail labels as a way to create the student portfolio. You can use any email program that you want to, and you can make, it would basically be the same thing of making folders or making a filter. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to share my screen with you now. And what I want to show you is how to make labels and also how to filter some emails so that they immediately go into the student portfolio or the folders that I've created. So on my email, I'm going to start off with making a label. So over on the side, you can see where all of the different labels I already have are. But if I click over there, and then I click my scroll bar, and I have to scroll all the way bottom because I have a couple. When I get down there, you'll actually see right here is a little plus sign. Now, if I click the plus sign, I can make a new group if I want to. And then this would be collectives of people. When I click more and I go down, we have create a new label or manage labels. I'll show you manage labels first. So these are all the labels that you have and that may be showing up. You can show some, you can hide some, you can remove some, or you can create a new label. So I'm going to start off with creating a new label, and I'm going to label it, Kim, because I'm going to filter Kim's emails. So I'm going to label it Kim's emails, Kim's. And you can nest this under anything. I'm not going to. And I'm going to hit create. So once I do that, you can see that it pops up, and already one conversation has gone in there, probably just because it searched her name. Now that I have that label, and you can see also, it should have popped up over here, and here it is. So I actually already done this once. What you can then do is go to, just stay in settings and go back to your filters and blocked addresses. So when you click here, now you can create a filter, which means that I'm going to have every email that goes along with whatever parameters I set automatically be labeled for Kim's email. So I'm going to go down here and it says create a new filter, and I'm going to create that new filter. And I'm going to put it from, let's see if it pops up, Kimberly. Now I can put the subject, I can put has the words, it doesn't really matter. You decide what you want your parameters to be. I just want all of her emails to go into a separate folder for me. So I'm going to create the filter. Now, here's where a box pops up. And what you want to make sure that you do, especially if you're trying to build a portfolio and keep things a little less cluttered in your inbox, because I feel like everyone's getting so many emails while we're working virtually. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you archive whatever is currently in your inbox. You want to skip it from the inbox. You want to basically, anything that comes in, you don't want it necessarily to sit in your inbox. You want it to go right into the folder. Now, if you want to make sure that you see that email and so you need it in your inbox, you would not select this. I prefer to just get everything into its place and then go to the place to look to see what's new there. And you can see over on this side, when there are new emails that have come in that haven't been read, it will bold the label. So you know, hey, there's something new in there. The other thing that I want to do is I want to apply this label, and I'm going to choose the one that I created. And then the only other thing that I select, you can delete it, you can do all these different things. The only other thing that I select and that you would consider selecting is apply the filter to matching conversations. So that means all emails that I've ever gotten from her are automatically going to be labeled this as well. Now, by skipping the inbox, I've guaranteed that that won't be labeled as an inbox message. So I'm literally moving everything from the inbox to this label. So I'm going to create the filter, and that's it. So now if I look into that folder, there are all of the emails that had that email address on it. And you can see everything is in there. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that I can then take student emails that are coming in or parent of student emails that are coming in, and I can put them all into one specific label in one spot, and I've now have all of that correspondence together. The other thing that you can do, and that I would suggest, is that you make sure that any email that's coming through, you're labeling as either student first and last name or student last name and the date, because what that will do is it will really keep your email organized. So for instance, if I search, let's see, if I search initials BO, this is one of my teachers, and I now have all of his correspondence that I've given with the date attached. And so that allows me to immediately not only go to the label and find it, but if I need to search for something, because all of the email subjects have come in with a certain way, I'm able to then search very easily for those. The other thing that you can do when you're doing this is if you have an assignment, you can just say, when you send it to me or when you send in your completed work, please just identify it by the name of the worksheet or the name of the document that you completed. And then again, you'll be able to search for it easier. You can filter it according to that name, and all of those assignments will come into one folder in one spot. So that's pretty much the way that you can create your Gmail labels, and also by default create student portfolios. I also showed you how to edit student work for feedback on your phone. And combined, that's really going to try to save you some time, not only with managing and downloading certain things and then having to respond and back upload, but also to make sure that you're really organized and to make sure that at the end of this, you're really able to see the growth that students have done as you've gone through this virtual learning. Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time for Petite PD. Bye-bye.